Metal Slug.
So maybe we just get right into it, shall we? News you can trust, I guess. Look, I put chat on the screen. Now you can almost kind of read it. Actually, you can't. It kind of blends into the background. I will not be fixing that. I haven't done this very long. Merc 1987 thanks for the 10 pounds. As a Stormcast player after a bad Thursday, I'm feeling a little more positive. Annoyed the Paladins are going, but you're assuming a good amount of the Warrior Chamber will be back. It just sucks all around. Yeah. The thing about Stormcast, they're all on the same base size. You can use a lot of them for whatever. Your opponents probably don't know what they look like anyway. And, a decent chunk of them are getting replaced by equivalents that are just newer in any case. But it still sucks. Not saying it doesn't suck. A unit that doesn't receive an updated Warscroll when Battletome Skaven drops will receive a Legends Warscroll. Okay. Please don't get the biggest AOS news stream blocked in other regions. Oh yeah, true. Well, don't worry, you can chop it up. Easy. Bone Splitters. From the armored bulk of the Iron Jaws to the lanky cunning of the Cruel Boys, the Orc War Clans are diverse, as they are vicious. Yeah, so we have Gork and Mork, cunning, brutal, right? Iron Jaws are brutal, Cruel Boys are cunning, Bone Splitters are... Yeah, it's kind of like that. I always kind of wish they had an identity. They're naked, I guess. Bone Splitter subfaction is also leaving the range. Yeah, it's a subfaction now. It used to be its own army, and then I talked about it in the video. They've slowly lost pieces of themselves until they were just souped into the big book and given nothing and only lost forever. And everybody kind of got the point. Dragon Install, a GG Strive enjoyer. Well, maybe not Strive, but you know what I mean. Anyway, thanks for the Prime for 11 months. Appreciate it. It's amazing how few models it actually had when you look at it here, right? It had one cool one with one cool ass rule. This was sweet. But that was it. Everything else was dumb and everyone else kind of agreed. Daj, yeah. I don't think this is this even going to the old world? I'm not sure. They might just get rid of it entirely. A clean snap, in other words. Yeah, I hope they kind of steal that rule for something else, maybe. They are not part of the old world so far, according to what you say. Because in Facebook, they were just a part of a bigger army. Yes, they are in old world as an update. Oh, okay. Stormcast were too new to be squatted. That was a mistake. People will now have it can happen to anyone examples instead of just the old models. Yeah, they're not like entirely crazy for saying so either. You know what I mean? Really can happen to anyone. Doesn't matter what sort of evidence you want to put up. To the contrary. You know how the stock market largely, well, I shouldn't say largely, in part works on confidence and perception. Well, it's like buying Games Workshop stuff now. Geez, I'm kind of concerned. It can happen to Stormcast. It can happen to an army that got a terrain feature and endless spells and stuff like that. Shit. It could happen to anyone. You know? Anyway, Steely, thanks for the 5 HeyWoah memberships. Appreciate it. On YouTube. TY. I appreciate it. Slaves to Darkness. Yeah, all the warbands that they don't want to keep. Damn, really? You don't want to keep their factories churning out 11 random warbands for a side game? That's a lot of overhead. It's a lot of production that could be other stuff. Which is what I said when they all came out. When all this crap came out, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of production for a side game I don't care about each of these could have been, you know, a brand new squad for one of your main games, you know? New plastic Eldar for whatever army, or new plastic Yetis for whatever army or something. But instead it's all this stuff. And it's all going to be temporary anyway. And so here it proves that it is, but not all of it. Some of the warbands are sticking around. Alright. Free shrugs. HeyWoah, if it happened to you being squatted, what do you think your next moves would be? Good question, Duhuda on Han 92. I mean, it could happen to me. If you're talking about, like, animals, you know? There's a scale of different species and stuff, and they could be endangered or extinct, or, you know, there's a whole sliding scale of it. The army I play as my only army, Ogre Maw tribes, I think we're in the biggest danger right now of any army. Because it's entirely fantasy models from the old game. There's nothing new in there. A third of it is fine cast. We got souped together after being separate in first edition. Gutbuster half is pretty basic. It doesn't feel very Age of Sigmarified. Beastclaw Raiders kind of does a little bit. They got like an interesting backstory, and there's that all-mounted kind of ice storm thing they got going on, but the Gutbusters are pretty bog standard, you know. To be honest, I think Ogres are should be the most concerned, and that means me. You know? I think they flip a big coin. They flip a giant coin. And either you get a refreshed model line, and it's your birthday plus Christmas every day, like Seraphon, or they get Beasts of Chaos, you know? I got terrain features, but so did BOC, and they got dumped. Who knows? If they were going to do it, they probably would have done it now. But you could say that several times over the course of Age of Sigmar's lifetime about many armies that eventually went away. So, geez, I don't know. As to what I would do, I'm not sure. I don't know. It's the only army I play. It's the only army I've ever played. And it's really the only army I would wish to play at this moment, I think. So I don't know. I guess I don't know what I would do. I consider thinking about what I would do if it were to happen to be worrying, and I'm not trying to be a worrier. I'll confront it if it happens, and then I'll cross the bridge at that point. I'm not trying to get bent out of shape about it. Hey, well, you should be safe. Ogres are a legacy army in Old Worlds. That means it's not cannibalizing the Forge World department. Okay, I don't know what that means, but I'm going to take your word for it. Astorius Rex thinks of $5. 2D Slaves to Darkness may struggle to recover from the loss of their flavorful 120 snake cultist army. Yeah, maybe. As long as they got to keep Furies, and they do, I think they're fine. Did I miss a $5 donation? No, I didn't. That was the Herd Together Strong guy, and I responded to that one. We're safe. Marked safe. I think Chaos was stacked, and so were Stormcast and Type of Orc. You think Ogres are distinct enough to not be in danger, but you have no skin in the game. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'm not trying to worry about it. It's Plastic Men. Whatever happens will happen. I do... Hey, you know what? Maybe I could inhale some Hopium here. Breathe it in. Smell it, you know? I could have gotten entirely squatted despite having a bunch of Age of Sigmar exclusive shit, like BOC just did. And since I didn't, now I get to just ingest pure Colombian Hopium that I'm going to get the old Skaven Slaves to Darkness Seraphon model refresh for our aging crap and a bunch of our fine cast. Geez, maybe I get the inhalium, some of this stuff. It's okay, well, if they ever squad Ogres, you'll buy me a new AOS army. I've had people offer to do that seriously before, and also like boxes of stuff, and I always turn them down. I do a show, and I make videos, and then you watch it, and if you like it, you give me $5 or whatever. And that's our relationship. I don't mind that. It's a donation, it's not a fee. You like my stuff, you click a button and give a membership or donate or something like that. I'm not trying to like get products and fill my house up with stuff, you know? Don't worry about it. I appreciate the offer, but people seem to have this idea that because Old World doesn't focus on them, they're safe in AOS. You can be ignored in AOS and Old World. You can be ignored in both games. I guess that's true. The Mothman, 421, finished 2,000 points of Ogres at the beginning of 2023, working on a BOC army over the course of last year. Nervous for your big boys and sad for your goats. Damn you, GW. You know what, first time chatter? You got an army that's supposedly safe. For now. And they told you early. They told all of us early. You and everybody else has a year to play with this stuff. A calendar year. Possibly a little extra, give or take. You got a year of one last hurrah for this stuff. Could have just took it. Like you learned today, illegal. Into the trash. And it's just over. They gave you an extra year to play with it. So you're just getting in the BOC. I don't know if you want to cancel that or finish painting them or whatever, but you get to play for them for a year now. Which is better than they used to afford their customers, which was just, it's gone. Eat shit, bitch, right? Congratulations, you have survived this edition. Yeah, LA Woodward, true. Thanks for the first time chat. Duhudadon, thanks for the $5 on YouTube. Thanks for your response. Feel like that's the best mindset to have. Enjoy the things you have. Well, you have them. They're material possessions. They're toys. You painted them. You played with them. You had a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 20 years. However long you had. You know, there's sand sculptures people make that as soon as they're done with it, they destroy it, you know, because it was about the creation of it. You got home from work and you applied paint to model just to chill the fuck out for a moment, you know, do something with your hands. I can't tell you too many silver linings. This is a shitty thing they did, but all you can do is what you have control over, which is what happens from now on. There's some stuff removed from 40k. Some Zinch demons. JP Artspace, thanks for the $2. What does GW think the ideal army model range is? I don't profess to know what they think. As time moves on, I'm able to understand what they think less and less, as a matter of fact. The truth is, it's a big company with a bunch of departments that doesn't seem to have the greatest communication between them. And then bosses and bosses, bosses, and then bosses, bosses, bosses on top of it. And a lot of people are just doing what they can with the information they have and making decisions based on it. Thinking about a company as a monolith is a little bit like thinking about a state as a monolith or a race of people. It doesn't work that way. Steely, thanks for the $5. Theory. We're gonna squat ogres but change their minds when they saw the dude with the homemade gut-plated Adepticon? True. Yeah, exactly. I took a picture of that guy. Somebody was like, there's a guy with a gut plate and he wants to meet you. And I'm like, all right, I'll make my way to that table. And I did. Corporations will normally corporation though. That's their only job. Yes. Yeah. They're like your dog. You put food in front of your dog and he just inhales all of it. He just eats it. That's what dogs do. If you don't want the dog to eat something, you don't put something that's edible in front of it. Corporations are like wild animals. Don't feed the bears. They're going to do one thing, and that's what they're for, you know? And if you don't like how they're doing it, you write a law. I don't know. Simple as that. Beasts of Chaos are leaving Warhammer Age of Sigmar, but they'll be back in the future, fuck you, or rather the past, in some different game that you may or may not care about. If you do, congratulations. But also, it sucks having to rebase all of them again, or whatever. This sucks and is sad. And as I mentioned, or rather alluded to in the video, little tinfoil hat in the video. Man, it would have been cool if they got like a refresh of AOSified inspiration for this game. Like really awesome looking Bulgors, for example, which Slaves to Darkness got. Or like the centerpiece with a really thematic Beasts of Chaos themed Centaur god, which Destruction got. Interesting. It's almost like they had a plan for BOC and they did this terrain feature and these endless spells and this hero, and somewhere in the pipeline, stuff that was going to be BOC got redirected when word from on high was maybe we're changing our ideas with that. Maybe this one's going. I don't know. It's kind of tinfoil, but as a person on the outside, that's kind of what it looks like. You could draw little red strings on a map, you know, and do the crazy thing if you want to. Anyhow, these are the Jesus Christ, this looks so bad. Yeesh, some of these. They don't show all of them. The Jabber Slide. Isn't the Jabber Slide new? Dragon Ogre Shoggoth. Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. Tuskor Chariots. The Cock Meta. RIP, and then it's got the 2 years. RIP when you finished painting it today, with a line in between. Yeah, no. Why isn't Razor Gore on this list? You wonder if Games Workshop did not expect Old World to be as popular as it did end up, and are now in a bit of a panic mode, shuffling resources around. Maybe. I'm told that Forge World is just a different company, kinda. They just happen to be owned. I don't know how true that is. You know? If the Old World is so successful, then that compartment can spend the profit that it makes on itself. You know? No need to steal mine in my game. But I guess it's all supposition. The Beast Lord is 14 months old. Damn, heartbeat law almost in effect for the Beast Lord over here. Yeah, Scylla and this shit, unpronounceable nonsense. Valkia the Bloody, who is a demon. According to the lore. Literally is. Their FAQ intern didn't know the lore, but she is. Apparently she's out. Branch Wraith. Oof, yeah. Madcap Shaman. Finally the spider stuff that they're clearly not going to do anything with. I'm surprised the Spider Riders are staying. Aw, Mistweaver Sigh. What could have been for an alternative, hey, maybe we'll have this kind of elf in AOS, and then they just decided not to. I felt like they could have put Mistweaver Sigh into Idnet Deepkin and literally no one would notice. But, you know. Some of these, you know, might get updates. The only ones the Bone Splitters are definitely not, it seems. Beast of Chaos are not, it seems. But First Wave Stormcast are, Sarkasync don't seem to be. A bunch of Skaven are. This stuff maybe. Twitch Prime. So, hey, well, what are your thoughts on all the 40k YouTubers doomsaying AOS because they don't understand what's going on with the 4th edition change? I mean, Games Workshop did kind of a shitty thing, so they're complaining about it. That's the game. Negative thumbnails get clicked more. So, I mean, I kind of addressed it in my video today where last night, my mods were just looking at all the different GW dying ? Ooh, you know, sad face, red arrow. Did you see it? Economic, stock market down price, you cross out, you know, that kind of stuff, that kind of content creator. Every once in a while, the company you like and make videos for is going to do something shitty, and you should rightfully call them out for it. If you click on the videos tab and just all of your thumbnails are the same and they're just all like GW bad, something bad, cancel this, you know, that's a different class of content creator. And I don't think they're worth much in general. But, you know, I do want to address it because a lot of people say stuff like this. Man, it would be so easy to just copy and paste the same negative thumbnail, basically, every week about some trumped up nonsense that may or may not even matter, you know, just to get people to click on it and be negative. It would be so easy to do that and make lots of money and a lot of people would watch it and everything like that. And the people saying that, it's copium and they're wrong. You don't know how many people try and fail to do that. There are 10 million channels who only do the negative thumbnail thing every time. 23 subscribers, 7 views, lost in the sea of YouTube. There's a million of them. You see a lot of them maybe, and you're seeing the cream, right? You're seeing the top 1% of the top 1% of them. And it feels like there's a lot of them probably. And if it does, maybe consider what you're clicking on. I don't particularly like channels that do that, but the copium, ooh, if I was negative, I would be popular. No, you wouldn't. You would be lost in the sea with the other million that are trying to do it and failing. It's very unlikely to succeed, really, no matter what your content is. Just put out videos often and have them be good. And if you're undeniably good, people will watch you. And if you're not, they basically won't. I should take my own advice and upload a YouTube video more than once every 4 years. But, you know, observations, I guess, are different than actions. Also, I have a day job. Hellstone Wargaming, you felt called out for it, to be honest. Why? Not all of the channels that I featured in the beginning exclusively do stuff like that. We were just taking thumbnails to show the, I guess, the pulse of the community at that exact moment, you know what I mean? I even slipped a little Pipkin Pippa in there. You make YouTube videos? Supposedly. In the past. Once every 4 years. Chill. Don't forget to head over to Last Chance to Buy section. Dude, I don't know why anyone would buy this stuff. Help me help you. They're saying you can play with this stuff for the next year, but after that it's gone. Honestly, thank you for letting us know that early. Old Games Workshop would not have told you a year beforehand. They would have yoinked it the week of. Eat shit, you know what I mean? they would have and have done. I don't know if this is a silver lining or not, but this is a big improvement. Anyway, they're telling you it has no future in the game. Why would you buy it? There are people who don't play the game. I understand those people. Maybe that's just it. It's people who don't play, they just paint and stuff. Which is fine. Do what you like. Don't have to play the game. That being said, there's a lot of other news to get through. You guys can keep talking about that, and I will respond, basically. But I did make a video about it. And there's a bunch of 4th edition news that I'm actually really excited to read, because, as I said in the video, unfortunately, this whole, hey, your shit's, eat shit, this stuff, it kind of sours it, because aside from that, I was pretty excited about all the 4th edition stuff I was reading. I like what I'm reading about 4th edition. I'm like legitimately excited for this edition. I've only read one thing so far that I wasn't sure about, and that's the underdog mechanic. The only thing that gives me pause is the underdog mechanic. I don't know what that could possibly look like. I don't know how they would consider you to be currently not winning so that you would be the underdog. And I'm concerned that the best way to play is by holding yourself back and Goldilocks zoning technically be losing just to use the underdog mechanic to slingshot you at the end or something. That sounds annoying to me. So I could see a world where underdog mechanic would fucking suck. But that's it. Everything else, kind of nice with it. The last things we talked about this. We talked about the modular rules. We talked about the priority roll. They did a little April 1st thing. Whatever. Next up is the Liberators Reforged. And I'll click on that in a second. Fire Slayers are awesome. Could use more variety in sculpts too. I agree. So I have the same opinion as everybody. Opinion's my own, right? They really should have given those guys pants. I really wish they had pants and shoes. Please. I think that was a titanic mistake. But aside from that, yeah, they all kind of look similar, but you could paint with a wide brush about many armies with their different troops kind of looking similar. Iron Guts are the same exact model as the Gluttons, except their weapon is bigger and they have a helmet, right? Like, a bunch of different Stormcast. If you squint just a little bit, there's like 8 Stormcast models that look basically the same. You could levy that complaint against a lot of armies, not just Fire Slayers. I think Fire Slayers are probably the biggest example of it, but still. Fire Slayers are one of those new AOS armies that I'm waiting for that second wave to come in. You know? Give me some anvil, mining equipment, big golems, magma stuff, magma droth, like, wolf kind of cavalry, something or other. Anything but more foot guys. Maybe a big old monster of some sort, right?